This will be the time that the first priest will come up and state his registry. This will be the time that we will uncover the scroll. We'll take the wine and the chalice. You'll take your left hand, put it over your right chest, hand out. La Yashal. I Madyu, which means to stand. Where Panyaha Pudam and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakufka, Daba'a, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aishaba, Rataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yavam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawak Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawak Nawa, Wala'a, Dabaya'a Nawa, Walasayawan, Abo, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kiyah, Laka, Hamanakwa, Wa'ala, Wata, Parat, La, Awalamian, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever, so be it. We're going to get Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Babu Kwashai, the thunder Nawa, Hakak, Lava Pa'a, Ka Makala, Ka Marawa, Hakak, Matahar, Hamadazariah, Hakak, Lahapuyam, Hamakiyam, Hakak, Awakawa, Hatama'ala, Lagarashan, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the water Amad. In the English, Yahweh, in the name Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'a, Ayanya, All Haharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'ayan, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al Yathan, Mawat, Magalika, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, Na'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Al Yad Yanyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Ra, Yashamar, Aknapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaka, Wabuba'aka, Ma'ita, Wa'ain, Awalam, Aman. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going in and thy coming out, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew, Alahayim, Al Damayah Lakah, Al Bacharash, Al Tashakwat, Al Kayah, Hana, Al Yabyaka, Yahamad One, Va'ash, Al Laimaka, Ya Arayamwa, Sawad, Wayaka Ya'aitazawa, Al to the Pawanyaka, Amorwa, Nakawa, Wanakakida, Bagoya, Walaaz, Yashkor, Sham Yasha'ala, Ivad, Kayana, Wa'aitazawa, La Yakabwa, Al Yakabwa, Yab Yakuratwa, Aholia, Arawan, Weshin Malayalam, Mowa Abawa, Hagorian, Gabor, Amawan, Amalak, Palashak, Amishabya, Tazawar, Gum Ashabor, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zabawai, Mabandi, Nawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadyan, Kasiyasa Ra'a, Kayayan, Manachal, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Damana, Adama, Shayathamwa, Narayabawa, Ka'ira, because the Abba, because the Baku, because the Zamana, Kam, Nasiya Kamwa, Ashar, Morwa, Nayabashar, Lanawa, Abna Awa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kufash, Lapanya Bakar, Ka'ashtaba, Iva Ya'iva, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Haryam Khan, the Radatma, Basa Iva, Kawabaso Paka, the Mahalam, Basa Mala'a, Panyaham, Kalawan, Wayabakashwa, Shumkaya Hawa, your Bashwa, where your Bahawa, Aya Ai, where your Kaparwa, where your Abadwa, where your Da'aiwa, Kaya, Atashim, Kaya, Hawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kala Rakaza Aman. In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasha Allah may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have spoken the children of Lot Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor, and became as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all the princes like Zabah, and as Zamuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame setting the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. Saw, which means to turn. Shabian, which means to be seated. So Shalom Israel. This is the Lord's Sabbath service in the state of Virginia right here. The Sabbath service is something very important to attend. So we're going to go, and we're going to be in Isaiah chapter 14, all right? We're going to get it in the Hebrew and the English, all right? Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 in the Hebrew, all right? Kaya, Yahweh Chad, Yahweh Af, Ya'akara, Wakavar, it's like Wabakar, Iwad, by Yasha'ala, Wakan Yaham. Yacham, it's like in Nayacham, Al, Adama, Adam thumb, Adama, it's like a Adama thumb, Wana Lawa, Hagar, Ala Yaham, Inas, Anasapak, it's like Anapasakwa, Al, Payat, Yaikwa, verse 2, Wakaraam, I'm Yum, Wahal Ya'awam, Al, Makarama, it's like we'll have to call one by Yasha Allah Al Adamat Yahweh La Ibadium Wala Shapakwa Yahweh Yawa. It's like a Wahayawa Shabyam La Shabyahum Waradwa Banagash Yahum. Verse 3 Wahayabayawam Hanayak Yahweh Laka Ma'itazabad. It's like ma'itazaka, wa magaz ka, wa man, ha ibada, ha kusha, ashar, ibad, baka. Verse 4, wana sha'a, hama'al, it's like a mashal, it's like hamashal, hazah, al, malak, babal, hamarath, it's like a wa amarath, ayak, shabaf, nagash, shabaf, it's like a shabatha, Marabah, verse 5, Shabar, Yahweh, Matah, Yeshayim, Shabbat, Mashalayim. It's like a Mashalyim. Verse 6, Makah, I'm Yum, Ibar, it's like a Ibara, Makath, Balafia, Sarah, Radah, Ba'ap, it's like a Goyim, Maradan, it's like a Maradap, Balaya, it's like a Balaya, Chashak. Verse 7, Gacha, Shakwa, Kal, Rataza, but it's like a Patazak, but Tazakwa, Maga. Verse 14, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 in the English. Verse 1, for the Most High will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captive, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressor. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors seized the golden city seized? Verse 5, the Most High have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Verse 6, and he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Starting at verse 8 in the Hebrew, Gam, Barashiam, Shamak, Walaka, Avazalia, it's like a Arazia, Banabar, it's like a Wabanwan, it's like a Labanwan, Maaz, Maaz, it's like a Shakabath, La'a, Ya'ila, Hakara, Al Yanawa, verse 9, Sha'al, Machaf, it's like a Matachaf, Vagazah, Laka, La Kora'af, Bara'aka, it's like a Barak, Irar, Laka, Rapa'a, Yamkal, Aitawadya, Rataza, Hakoyam, Makasa'ah, Kal, Malakia, Goyam. Verse 10. Halam, it's like a Ya'inwa, it's like a Amorwa, Yaka, Gam, Kaliyah, Kamanwa, it's like a Kamanwa, Yanawa, na Mashallah. Verse 11. Harad, Sha'al, it's like it, Na'an, it's like it, that's Na'awan, it's like it, Na'awan ka, Hamayat, Nabal the Kap Yaka, Itazai, it's like it, Yatazai, Ramah, Wakas, Wamakasyaka, the Walaya. Verse 12, Ayaka, Napalat, Mashamyam, Hayalog, Ban, Shakar, Nagadith, Rataza, Shawalash, it's like it, Khalash, Khawalash, Owl, Goyim. Verse 13, Wa'atha, like it, what, that should be, right, Wa'atha, Amara, Balababka, Hashamyam, Ha'ila, Mama'il, La Kavakabia, it's like a La Kavakabia, Al, Aryam, Kasa'aya, Wa'ashab, Bahar Mawa'id, it's like a Bayarakafia, Tazatwan, like verse 14, A'ila, Al, Bamath, it's like a Bamafia, I, Ada, Adama, La Ayal Yawan, La Al Yawan. Verse 8 in the English, Isaiah chapter 40, verse 8 in the English. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee in the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. Verse 9, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to thy grave, to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Verse 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. Starting at verse 15 in Hebrew. Ad Al Sha'ar Darad Al Yavakafia Bawar, verse 16. Ra'ayaka Aldika Shanat, it's like Yashad Shad Yahweh Aldika Yavan Noah, it's like Yadabawan Noah Hazah Ha'ayash Mara Gayaz Raptasa Maraayash Mama Lalaka, it's like Mama Malakwa Ma Malakwa, verse 17. Sham the ball Kama Dabar, Kasaki Kama the bar wa Irajuwa Haras, like a Haras Asa Asayar Yawa La'a Pasak Bayatha, verse 18. Ka Malakia Goyam Kalab Shakabwa Bakarwad, it's like a Bakabawad Ayash Bayathwa Babayathwa, verse 19. Wa Ata Shalakat Ha Makara Karak, it's like a Kwabor Makwaborka um Kanatazar Nadaib Lavawash Haragium, it's like a Haragium Mamain, it's like a Mataanya Harab Yarad, it's like a Yavarad Ya Al Abaya Bawar Kabagar Mawabas, verse 20. La'ad the Khad a thumb Babakawar, it's like it Bakabawar Kaya Ratazaka Shafak, it's like a Shakha Aimad Havagat La'a Yakara'a La'iwalam Zarai Morayim, verse 21. It's like a Hakaya Nawa Laban Yawa Mamabak, it's like a Marabak Ba'ayawan Abawath, it's like a Abawath uh Abawathma Bao Yaquamwa Wayarashwa Rataza Wamalaawa Panya Tabor Irayam. So from verse 15 in the English, yet thou shalt be brought, Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Verse 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, it is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms. Verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners. Verse 18, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. Verse 19, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain thrust through with a sword, thou go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Verse 20, thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the faces of the world with cities. Starting at verse 23 in the Hebrew, where Yeshamafia, Lamorash, Kopad, it's like a Kopad, Agamya, Mayam, Wa'ata, it's like a Watata'athya, Ba, Bamata'ata, Hashad, Na'ah, Yahweh, Tazaba'ah, verse 24. Nashabah Yahweh Tazaba'ah wa La'amar Av La'ah Ha'ashar the Mayafya Khan Hayatha Waka'ashar Ya Aitazafya Haya'a Daquam, verse 25. Lashabar Ashar Ba'aratazaya Wa'al Hoya Bawas, it's like Abawash Nawa Wasar, it's like Washar, Ma'al Yaham, Alwa, Wayasabal, wa Ma'al, Shakamwa, Yasawar, verse 26. Za'ah, Ha'itaza, Haya Iwataza, Al Ka Rataza, Wayaza, Hayaka, Hanataya, Al Ka, Hagoyim, verse 27, Kaya Yahweh, Tazaba'awa, Yaitaza, Wamaya, Yapor, Wayadwa, Hanat, Wamaya, Yashayabna, verse 28, Abashana, Mawat, Hamalak, Hakaz, it's like it, Achaz, Haya, Hamasha, Hazah, starting at verse 22 in the English. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 22. For I will rise up against them, saith the Most High of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Most High. Verse 23. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the bosom of destruction, saith the Most High of hosts. Verse 24. The Most High of hosts have sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. Verse 25, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him under foot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. Verse 26, this is the purpose that is proposed, like a purpose upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all nations. Verse 27, for the Most High of hosts hath proposed, and who shall disannul it, and his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back. Verse 28, in the year that King Ahaz died with this burden. Verse 29 in the Hebrew, Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29 in Hebrew. Dashamakia, Palasha, Kalat, Kaya, Nashabar, Shabbat, it's like a Makad, it's like a Makkah, Kaya, Masharash, Nakash, Yataza, Tazapai, Wapar Yawa, it's like a Wapar Yawa, Sharap, Ma'ira Wapap, verse 30. Warai, it's like a Warai, Bakawarya, Dalyum, Abayawanyum, Labatak, Yerabatazawa, it's like a Yerabatazawa, Wahamafia, Bara'ai, Sharashka, Sha'ar Yathak, Yaharad, verse 31, Hayalaya, Sha'ir, Za'ikya, Ayor, Namawab, Palashab, Palak, Kaya, Matazapwan, it's like a Matazapawan, Aishan, Ba'a, Wa'ayan, Bawadad, Bama Wa'ayyawa, it's like Bama Wa'ayyawa, verse 32, Wama, Aina, it's like Ya Aina, Mala'at Goya, Kaya, Yahweh, Sada, it's like Yasad, Tazawan, Waba, Yachaswa, Ain, I'm what. We're going to finish it out, starting at verse 29. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestina, because of the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fury flying serpent. Verse 30. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety. And I will kill thy root with famine, and he shall slay thy remnant. Verse 31. Howl, O gate, cry, O city, thou whole Palestina, art dissolved, for there shall come forth from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone in his appointed times. Verse 32. What shall one then answer the messengers of the nation, that the Lord hath found Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it? Starting at verse 15, verse 1 in the Hebrew. All right, Isaiah chapter 15, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Masha'ah, Mawa'aba Kaya, Balayal, Shaddad, Ayah, Mawa'aba, Narama Kaya Balayala Shada Koryama Wa'aba Narama, verse 2. Ayla Habaya Wadayab Wadayaban Hamamawath Labakia Al Nabwa Wa'al Maya Daba'a Mawa'aba Yayalaya Bakal Ra'ashya Karakha, like a Karakha Kal Zakwan Garawai, verse 3. But Hawatazat Yawa Chag, it's like a Chagor, what Shag Al Gagawaf ya Waba Chabath ya Kala Yala, it's like a Yala, it's like a Yala Yarad, it's like a Babak ya, verse 4. What is the Ike Hashabwan Wa'al Ila Aid Yahataza Nashamai Kawalam, it's like a Kawalam Al Khan Khalataza Mawa'aba Yara'ayawa Napashwa Yara'ay Lawa, verse 5. Labia Lama Wa'aba is it's like a is a Ike Bavayacha I Taza'aya Aina lot, it's like a Agalat Shalashaya, it's like a Shalashaya Kaya Mawa'ila Halawatya, it's like a Halawakaya Babakia Ya Aila La Aila Bawa Kaya the rock it's like a Harad, it's like Haranium Haranium Za'ikwa Shabar Ya Ayarawa, verse 6. Kaya Maya Namorium Mashamwa Yahayawa Kaya Yabash Khatazar, like Khatazar Khala Dasha'a Yorak La'a Haya, verse 7. Al Khan Yalara Aisha Wabakwadathma Al Nakhal Ha'irabium Yasha'al, 15 verse 1 in the English. Isaiah chapter 50 verse 1 in the English. The burden of Moab, because in the night Ar of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. Because in the night Kir of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. Verse 2. He is gone up to Bajeth and to Deban, high places to weep. Moab shall howl over Nebo and over Medeba. On all their heads shall be baldness and every beard cut off. Verse 3. In the streets they shall grip themselves with sackcloth on the tops of their houses, and in their streets everyone shall howl, weeping abundantly. Verse 4. And Heshbon shall cry, and Elealeh, their voice shall be heard, even unto Jahaz. Therefore the armed soldiers of Moab shall cry out, his life shall be grievous unto him. Verse 5. My heart shall cry out for Moab, his fugitives shall flee unto Zoar, and heifer of the years old, for by the mountain up of Lahith, with weeping shall they go it up. For in the way of Hanaim they shall rise up a cry of destruction. Verse 6. For thy waters of Nimrim shall be desolate, for the hay is withered away, the grass faileth, there is no green thing. Verse 7. Therefore the abundance they have gotten, in which they have laid upon, up shall they carry away to the brook of the willows. Wait, real quick, let me get the last two verses. Verse 8 in the Hebrew, Kaya Hakuyapa, Hada Aikwa, Af, Nabawa, Mawa Aba Aid, Agalium, Yalalata, Wabaor, Ayalyum, Yalalata, verse 9, Kayamaya, the Yamwan, Malaawa, Dam, Kaya, Ashayat, Al, the Yamwan, Nawasapwa, Lapaliataf, it's like a Lapayataf, Mawa'aba, Araya, It's like Araya, Wala Sha'araya, Adama in the English from 8 to 9, Isaiah 15:8-9. For thy cry is gone round about the borders of Moab, the howling thereof unto Egalam, and to the howling thereof unto Beralim. Verse 9, for the waters of Daman shall be full of blood, for I will bring more upon Daman, lions upon him that escapeth of Moab, and upon the remnant of the land. We're going to get Isaiah chapter 16 in the Hebrew, starting at verse 1. Shalak wa Kar, Mashar, Rataza, Masalai, Marabara, Al, Har, Ba, Tazayawan. Verse 2. Wahaya, Ka'aiwa, Nawadad, Kara, Mashalak, Aslaki, the Hayana, Bawa, Banwa, Mawa'aba, Ma'ai, Ma'aibar, Ma'aibarath. It's like La Iranwan, La Aranwan. Verse 3. Verse 3, Habayaawa, Habayaaya, Itiza, Aishawa, Palashala, Shayafya, Kalayal, Tazalak, Bazawad, like a Bazawak, Tazaharium, Salakia, Satharya, Nadakium, Nadad, all, Nagalia. Verse 4, it's like a Yagarwa, it's like a Yagar, it's like a Yagawar, it's like a, let me see, Yagorwa, Baka, Nadakia, Mawa'aba, Hawaya, Sathar, Lamwa, Mapanya, Shawadad, Kaya, Pas, Hamataza, Kala, Shad, Damawa, Ramas, Man, Harataza. Verse 5, Wahabakan, Bakasad, Kasa'a, Wayabash, like Wayashab, Al-Yawa, Ba'amath, it's like Ba'amath, Ba'ahal, Dawada, it's like Dawada, Shapat, Wadarash, Mashapat, Wamahor, to the dock. Verse 6, Shemainawa, Ga'arwan, Mawa'aba, Ga'a, Ma'ad, Ga'awafwa, Ga'awafwanawa, Waga'awanawa, Wa'ibarathwa, Na'a, Khan, Badyawa. Verse 7, Lakan, Yalayal, Mawa'aba, Lama Wa'aba, Kala, Yalayal, La Ayash, it's like La Ashayasha, Shia, Koyar, Karashat, that were, it's like it, the Hagawa, it's like it, the Hagar, Ak, Kan, Ak, Nakaayam. Verse 8, we're gonna go to verse 8. No, complete, go verse 8. Kaya, Shadamawa, Hashabwan, Amalal, Napan, it's like a Shabama, Baalia, Goyam, Halamawa, Sharakya, it's like a Sharawakwaya, I, Ya Izar, it's like in Nagayawa, the Iowa, Madabor, Shalakawafya, Natashwa, Ibar William, Ibar William.
I'm going to go to verse 8, Isaiah chapter 16, verse 1 through 8. In the English, send ye the lamb to the rulers of the land from Selah to the wilderness unto the mount of the daughters of Zion. Verse 2, for it shall be that as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the founds, at the fords of Arnon. Verse 3, take counsel, execute judgment, make thy shadow as the net in the midst of the noonday, hide the outcast, be away, not him that wandereth. Verse 4, let mine outcast dwell with thee, Moab, be thou a covert to them from the face of the spoiler, for the extortioner is at an end, the spoiler seizes, oppressor are consumed out of the land. Verse 5, and in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David, judging and seeking judgment and hasting righteousness. Verse 6, we have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness, and his pride and his wrath, but his lies shall not be so. Verse 7, therefore shall Moab howl for Moab. Everyone shall howl with the foundations of Kaharseth shall ye mourn, surely they are stricken. Verse 8, for the fields of Heshbon languish, and the vine of Shema, the lords of the heathen have broken down the principal plants thereof. They are come even unto Jazer, they wandered through the wilderness, her branches and stretched out, they are gone over the sea. All right, Al-Majid, which means to stand, just us up here. Every time that we would grab the wine, left hand over your right chest, extend your right hand with the wine in your hand. La Yasha. Al-Majid, which means to stand. Wapanyaha Kudam and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakuka, Daba'a, Watazaka, Aisha. It's like Aisha, Baratazakawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Lathalanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawan, Wasalak, Nawa, Kabawak, Nawa, Kasalak, Nawa, Kabawak, Nawa, Wala'a, Dabaya'a, Nawa, Benasayawan, Babal, Havashai, Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watapara, La Awalamyam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. We're going to get Hakat, the power in Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Babu Kushat, Nathan Allah, Hakat, Hakat, Ba'a, Kama Kala, Wakama Rawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamad Zariah, Hakat, Lahakudam, Hamat, Hakat, Abahara, Hatama Allah, Lagabashan, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, the Wadaman. In the English, Yahweh, and the name Yahweh Shah, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to clean the lepers, the power to clean the dead, to raise unclean, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. When we get Psalms 121 in Hebrew, Asha'a, Ayanya, Ahoharya, Ma'ayanya, Ba'a, Isaiah, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayan, Wa'avataza, Al Yathan, Namawat, Wagalka, Al Yanawam, Shamorka, Hana, La'aya, Nawam, La'aya, Yashansha, Moya, Sha'ala, Yahweh, Shamorka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'aya, Kaka, Rak, Yahweh, Yashamorka, Makao, Rai, Yashamor, Akna, Paska, Yahweh Yashemor Taza'aka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'ita, Ba'ai, Awlam, Aman. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'Allah shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper, Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew, Allahayim, Al Damayalaka, Al the Korash, Wa Al the Shakwat, Al Kayafana, Al Yaka, Yahamaya one, Ra'ash, Al Aimaka, Ya Ariyamba, Savad, Wayaka, Ya Aitazawa, Al Tazapawanyaka, Amora, Lakawa, Wanakaki, the Magoya, when the Ayah Zakor, Sham Yasha Allah, Iwad, Kayana, Wa Aitazawa, La Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Voyaf, Yakaratwa, Aholia, Adawan, wa Yashama Ilayam, Moa Abba, wa Hagoyam, Gabal, wa I'm a one, wa I'm a lock for the shot, I'm Yashavia, Taz of war, Gama Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zabawai, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasayasava'a, Kayabian, Wanahao, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, Adama, Shagathamba, Narayama, Kaibaba, Kazaaba, Kazabak, Kazalmana, Khan, Nasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Naya Bashar, Lanawa, Abna Awa, Alahayam, Alahayat, Shagathamba, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Baka, Ka'ashta, Ba'ayma, Ya'ayma, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Haryam, Khan, Tabadama, Basa Africa, Wabasubapafka, Tabahalan, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Waya Bakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya Bahawa, Aya Ayn, Waya Khafrawa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Da'ayawa, Kaya, Ata, Shamka, Yahawa, Labaka, Al the one, Al Kala, Rataza, Aman. In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hated ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off for being a nation, that the name of Yasha Allah may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabor, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Sadah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, with prayers that endure. To be king is done for the earth. Make the nobles like a red, and like the Arab, yea, all their princes as the Ba, and as the moon of the said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone, Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. Prayer the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force the riches to enter thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Pazi Kamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your word throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known that it's the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. so be it. Sar, which means return. Yashabian to the sisters. The sisters can now be seated. Men of Israel, we're going to give a curse salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatham, Yanamata, Sar like I'm walking, Amadim for the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give a curse salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Alathan Ba'ashem Yahushua, Yanamata. With that,